Hey, what is going on, everyone? Welcome. Today is Tuesday. It is February 21st, 2023. My name is Jeremy, and this is my first. I hope you are all well. I hope you had a wonderful Monday, or if I haven't seen you since some other period of time since then, I hope you have been well. You ever have one of those nights sleep where you wake up and you slept well and you slept plenty of time and your body's still saying, hey, I think we need more? That was yesterday. I went to bed at 8:30, maybe a little bit sooner. I had probably accumulated 2 hours of nap through the day. And it makes me wonder, have I not yet caught up on the sleep from being away in Mexico? I feel like I'm almost there. But I also had some crazy dreams last night. And the heart of the dream was trying to track down my contact lenses, which is interesting because I've never worn contact lenses. Yeah, it was fascinating. And I woke up and just groggy. I slept right until the alarm went off, which I think I've mentioned before. I have one of those wake up lights. So generally my body starts waking up. I think it's about 25 minutes before the alarm makes noise. Didn't even notice it. I was out. So I guess I need more sleep. Good morning to Liz, Tommy, Frank, Jenny, and all the rest of you out there, whether you're watching or listening or later or whatever. Glad you're here. Did you check out yesterday's episode of Martial Arts Radio? I want to publicly apologize to our guest. There was an issue. It was quickly resolved, but I want to acknowledge it because we did make an error where the back half of the show, or the portion of our conversation after we cut the show, was out there publicly for a short period of time. And I believe it is the first time we have done that, maybe the second time we have done that in 8 years. We made an error. We fixed it. And I want to apologize to Sensei for doing that. It is not something I did personally, but it happened on my watch. So I am taking responsibility for it. And hopefully it never happens again. We've got some things that we're putting in place to simplify, or I guess just make it easier to track all the pieces, because there are now 5 people involved in every episode of Martial Arts Radio. It's a lot of people. And we're building some systems to make it cleaner. Who else is here now? Good morning, Rebecca and Andy and Dennis and Stacy. Hope you're all doing well. Tommy says about my sleep, that happens to me every couple of weeks. Your body knows. It does. Your body knows if you need sleep and how much and all that. Yeah, I was taking 20-minute naps in between things, and it was good. It was good. Yesterday was a good day. I got almost everything done that I wanted to get done. There are a couple research projects that I'm working on that are taking a little bit longer than I had thought they would. Went to the gym briefly. Forgot my headphones. Now, normally that wouldn't be a problem. That wouldn't be a big deal, except that there's a group of young teenagers. There's like 8 of them. And they are chaos in the gym. And it's hard to focus on what I'm doing with them being so chaotic around me. And I worked out for about a half hour. I was like, I'm leaving. I just can't deal with this. Between not having my music and really the only sound I'm listening to being these knuckleheads. They're good kids. They really are. But, they're 13. Good morning, Gad. Good morning, Brian. So what's going on today? Today's a big day. And if you are in the Patreon, you know why today is a big day. There is somebody that I am recording with today that has been on the short list for a very long time, pretty much since day one. And Andrew made it happen. It is a name that I would be shocked if any of you don't know. Now, am I going to tell you? Nope. If you want to know, you can still jump into Patreon. You can still find out for $2 a month. What else did I do on Patreon yesterday? Oh, put out the special edition and teacher's edition of the Master Hopkick books. If you're in the VIP or higher tiers, you get those for free. I also finished all the emails for Kick Clinic. And we started laying out 2 more email programs, one that I have to design and one that has already been designed. It's been in the works for literally years, and I'm super excited about it, specifically for school owners. And it's going to be great. Like, it already is great. It just hasn't been built yet. Dennis has thrown out a woo, and Stacy says Andrew's the man. He certainly is. But I want to know what's going on with you. How was your Monday? What did you do? How are you feeling? Did you sleep adequately? Did you train? Did you, I don't know, whatever else you might have done? I want to know about it. Oh, I want you to tell me. Tell me. So today's going to be a bit chaotic. I've got 4 interviews scheduled. I have a client that is a retail establishment. They're having a meeting. They've asked me to sit in and as a technical consultant to this meeting that happens tonight. And then I have to race back for our awards meeting, our first awards meeting of the 2023 awards season. I guess we can call it that. Looking forward to that meeting. Those are always fun. And shout out to Stacy and the rest of the team. Good morning, Nathan. Nathan says, Rising Storm, this is his school, celebrated a birthday. How many years? I know you've been at this a while, my friend. How many years? Let's congratulate you. Liz says, so I set up 2 interviews to become a paid instructor for Taekwondo. I am so excited. Congratulations. I think that is awesome. Pumped for you. So that's my day. It's a busy day. I'm not quite sure when I'm going to eat, which is real. I'm going to try to get through all my interviews before I eat, which means I'm fasting. I mean, a little bit of cream in my coffee, but I'm not going to eat a meal this morning because if I eat a meal, I'm going to hit the 9 o'clock episode dragon, no matter what I eat. So I'll take some nootropics and plow through, and when the 3 o'clock ends, hopefully at 4, it could be 4:30 or later, I will probably quickly eat something. Frank says, yesterday during the day, I had a laundry-a-thon. In the evening, we had family over. Nathan says, it's 12 years. Congratulations, my friend. 12 years of your school. That's great. Stacy's feeling woozy after a super high blood sugar day. It's back down to normal, but that means it came down 250 plus points last night. Wow. It's quite the crash. Gad says he was assembling his new sofa around this time yesterday. Can finally watch Kung Fu flicks comfortably. How were you watching them before? Leaning against a wall? Is there anything else I wanted to share? It's not too late to do the 30-day challenge. It's not too late to sign up for Kick Clinic. Those are ongoing programs. The next one that we will be doing, I will be converting the Flex program into an email series, and that will happen hopefully tomorrow. That is the main thing on my schedule for tomorrow. Because people are liking this email format. So if we can take these other programs that we've built and adapt them into email, maybe that will work better for people. Because we sell programs. The problem is I don't think people do them. And that falls in line with what I've read about the fitness industry. People will buy these training programs and they don't do them. So how do we get them to do them? And I think the email setup is the way. I think that's the most effective thing that I've found. Bite-sized chunks, just give you one at a time. And it makes sense, right? Makes sense. Everything else that we do in the martial arts is baby steps. So, Jenny says that Gad watched his Kung Fu Flicks sitting in a split between two folding chairs. That's funny. It's funny. When are we going to have Van Damme on? That'd be a good conversation. I'd love to talk to him. Ken says, our old sofa was almost completely devoured by our dogs. Had to do with a crummy, cheap rebound sofa until the new sofa arrived. Well, that sounds... Dennis says, short people have little legs and take baby steps by default. You guys are in rare form today. So we're going to switch gears. Frank sent over some stuff. Frank's in the chat, which doesn't always happen. I appreciate you being here. Thank you, my friend. Thanks for all that you do for the show. Thank you to Josh for our theme song. Thank you to Denise for the audio. And we have 3 quotes today. Pardon me. From Langston Hughes. Folks, I'm telling you, birthing is hard and dying is mean. So get yourself a little loving in between. And on the surface, that may sound, kind of trivial or whatever, but there's something I think really substantial in that sort of approach. There's always going to be pain. There's always going to be difficulty. Life is never perfectly well, happy, etc. So you have to hold on to those good moments. And sometimes those good moments aren't the majority of time. But you can also work on reframing your mindset. I live in a cold area, but I have a warm home with lots of plants and the freedom to do this show and do all of these other things that are important to me. That's a pretty big deal. I'm thankful for that. So, in a sense, the majority of my day is good stuff. I just have to make sure I remember that. And it's something we can all do. If you look at your life and you say, oh, this, and you start making a list of all the bad things, yeah, it's what you're going to dwell on. But what about the other side? What about all the great things? What about the fact that the majority of people, even today, let alone throughout history, would do horrible things to trade places with you and where you are in life right now? That's how good we have it compared to the majority of human history. It's pretty impressive. If you're able to watch this show, your life is okay. You have enough money for internet access, and no one's trying to stab you right now, because if they were, you probably wouldn't be watching a show. And you've got all these other things that are taken care of in your life, that you have the freedom to spend a little bit of time watching this show. And that It says something. It's worth recognizing. Next. Hold fast to dreams, for if dreams die, life is a broken winged bird that cannot fly. How do we move forward without dreams? Dreams, goals, whatever we want to call them. Those are where we're headed. If you're not headed anywhere, you're stuck in place. And if you're stuck in place, you're not growing. I've never met anyone who doesn't have any goals. I don't think. Maybe I have. But every martial artist I've ever met has a goal. Might not be a lofty goal, but it's something that keeps them going. At the very least, it keeps them motivated to remain where they are, as opposed to backsliding, which is what would happen if they didn't train. But we can do a lot more than that with dreams. Dreams, if they are big enough and detailed enough, are a roadmap. Because if you don't know where you're going, any road will get you there. And a lot of people wake up 5, 10, 20 years later and say, oh, how did I get here? Well, you didn't have the GPS on, you weren't looking at a map, and you just drove. But if you want to get somewhere specific, have an idea of the direction. The more time you spend driving, the clearer the path becomes, and the more specific you will have to choose the roads you take. Divine inspiration isn't gonna do it every time, even most of the time. So if you look at dreams, and if you listen to those around you who are saying, that's too big, that's too much, you can't do that, etc. Yeah, stop listening to those people. Get new people. Because people who truly love you won't tell you that you can't do or can't be. They'll tell themselves they're doing it out of love, but it's not. Because what would a truly loving person do? Well, how can you? How can I help you? They provide support. It's something I've done very intentionally over the last few years is get rid of people who all they do is rain on others' parades, mostly themselves. I don't want to be around that. I'm done. That doesn't help me. You can go be cynical and negative and accomplish nothing. If you're happy about it, that's fine. But that's not what makes me happy. I need to be around people who are doing big, bold things, challenging convention, doing things that others say can't be done. It's pretty much what my whole life has been. And the last quote today. When a man starts out to build a world, he starts first with himself. When a man starts out to build a world, he starts first with himself. You have direct control over you. You have tremendous control over you. If there's something about yourself that you want to improve, you can do that. Doesn't mean it's easy. Doesn't mean it happens overnight. Doesn't mean it's free. But we live in the most accessible time ever. If you want to learn something, you can. You can probably learn it for free. If you want to develop your physical body in some way, you can do that. I mean, we literally live in a time where people change their physical appearance to look like other animals. We have that ability. It's kind of crazy. And I point that out merely to illustrate that if there's something that you are not happy with, the only thing standing in the way of you and that is your willingness to change it. If you're not willing to change it, it won't change. It doesn't change spontaneously. We don't learn spontaneously. We don't develop physical skills spontaneously. It takes time. It takes effort. You have to have a compelling reason. You have to have a why. What is your why? If you want to get better at martial arts, you have to have a reason why. Simply showing up to class and going through the motions isn't really going to do it. But fortunately, very few people simply show up and go through the motions. They show up and they're happy to be there. There are things they like learning. It's part of their identity, whatever the reasons. And they work at it and they get better. And it's great. And the same thing is true of literally everything else in our lives. So how about today? How about you try to notice your self-talk? It's probably going to be internal. As you tell yourself the things that you want, oh, I wish, I should, I ought to, maybe one day, all of these things. And as you say them, I want you to try to notice them and take a moment and really be honest with yourself about what is standing in the way. Oh, well, Jeremy, if I go to do that, I've got to make more money. Well, then go make more money. Well, it's not that easy. You're right, it's not, but it is simple. You have to provide more value to your employer, or you have to get an additional job, or you have to stop spending as much money. There's 3 ways. What if you did all 3? Most of us could probably cut 10 to 20% of what we spend our money on and not really suffer a different standard of living. Most of us could get basically the same job somewhere else and make 10 to 20% more. Takes an application, takes being, takes some willingness. And anybody could go and work an extra, I don't know, let's say it was really important to you, maybe 20 hours a week. If it's, let's see, most parts of the country, yeah, you should be able to get 20 hours a week. And at $20 an hour, which, yes, there are restaurants paying that, so don't tell me you can't make $20 an hour. It's $400 a week, 50 weeks a year. You're looking at $15,000, $16,000 take home. A lot of people could achieve a lot of goals with an extra 15 grand a year. Either Stacy has gotten very poetic or she has pulled this from something. What happens to a dream deferred? Does it dry up like a raisin in the sun, or fester like a sore and then run? Does it stink like rotten meat, or crust and sugar over like a syrupy sweet? Maybe it just sags like a heavy load, or does it explode? Oh, that's a Langston Hughes quote. Great. Tommy, there's always a way. I want you all to have the lives you want. I believe martial arts is a tool towards that. But ultimately, that is what martial arts is to me. It is the most effective personal growth engine. It makes you a better version of yourself. Part of being a better version of yourself is reaching a point where you identify who and what you want to be, and you work for that. Part of what we do with Martial Arts Radio is we show that You can take that martial arts education in a lot of different directions. You don't have to remain a martial artist. It's not what's most important to me. What's most important to me is you become that better version of yourself and you continue to grow and you have the life that you want. If there are things about your life you want to change, then change them. And if you tell me you can't, tell you what, I will offer this up to anyone. If somebody has a situation that they say is unchangeable, I'll get on the phone with you and I'll point out where you could change it. And maybe you won't like the answer. The options for choice does not mean that you're not making the best choice, but you do have choice. There are infinite number of choices. Any one of you could, I don't know, go to a different country and just abandon your life here. People do it all the time. I'm not saying it's a good idea, but it's an option. And the fact that you perpetually choose not to do that means that you're choosing what you have over that because you believe it's better. If you don't believe it's better, then you're lying to yourself because we generally make the choices that feel best for us. I'm going to go. Thank you for coming by. Thank you for your support. If you want to support beyond your presence, your moral support, please join the Patreon. patreon.com/whistlekick. I'm thinking about setting a milestone there that if we can reach a certain threshold, that we will do something big for everyone. But that's back burner stuff right now. If somebody has ideas for that, let me know. What else? Check out the family page, whistlekick.com/family. I think I updated that yesterday. Pretty sure I did. And of course, you can make a purchase at whistlekick.com using the code FIRSTCUP15 to save 15%. I appreciate you all. Have a fantastic day, and I will see you. If I don't see you tonight, for some of you, I will see you tomorrow. Take care, everybody. Peace.